Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, reveal the books I bought this week, and, if I screw up, a blooper reel. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nutley, and I am the Comic Hero.
Why?
Coming to you from Southern Realms Comics and Games here in Reston, Louisiana. Now, since 2015, in the episode leading up to the college football playoffs, I would always wear shirts based on all four schools that are in the college football playoffs. I had four of them, but for some reason, I looked all around my apartment, and I couldn't find the Oklahoma theme. And I'm not joking, folks. I seriously could not find it. But this is an Alabama hat that I'm wearing.
Betting that I'm going to.
So good luck to the Crimson Tide, Roll Tide. So,
I may just not.
And also I'm going to be wearing
hurt you more than me.
hats of the other three schools that are in the college football playoffs. And good luck to the rest of them.
Text on all cards.
All right then. Okay. It's time to give away a free T-shirt.
2.
Alright, last week's episode, I asked, which DC character was once hired by the Easter Bunny to murder Santa Claus? Well, the correct answer is Lobo. That's right. The guy that refers to himself as the main man was once hired by the Easter Bunny to off Santa Claus. Oh, and if you're one of my coworkers, Joanne Reno, and you're watching this, I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, she watched episode 195 and was completely mortified by that question. All right, but anyway, 10 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in the drawing for a free tee, and that drawing takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Caleb McDaniel from Winsboro, Louisiana. So congratulations, Caleb. You picked up a free Comic Hero tee.
I think so.
All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Marvel question, and it's kind of easy if you've if you've really studied Marvel and some of the characters. Name at least 5 redheads in the Marvel universe. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. Now, D'Angelo Ballou from Warren, Ohio, has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one's a little different. It features a classic X-Men character going up against a character from the Ren and Stimpy show.
Pause. What?
Just watch the show and it'll make a lot of sense.
I'm sure it'll make sense. Also, do they have to be redheaded women?
Men or women? Men or women? All right, representing Marvel, we have the Blob. And representing Nickelodeon, we have Powdered Toast Man. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's the Blob versus Powdered Toast Man. The Blob possesses superhuman strength, endurance, durability, and resilience, a personal gravity field, and near impenetrable skin. Powdered Toast Man can fly, either by releasing flatulence, by inserting his head into a special toaster and launching from it, or merely by pushing off from the ground. Importantly, he flies backwards. He can also hover in midair. Offensive abilities include high-velocity raisins shot from his mouth, hypercorrosive croutons fired from his armpit, butter pats that are launched from the top of his head, and hyperacidic marmalade from his navel. He also has the ability to make powdered toast taste better by farting on it. Who will win? Powdered Toast Man is well aware of the Blob, so he sets a plan in motion that is grotesque, but effective. He inserts his head into the toaster and launches himself towards the Blob. The latter begins to lick his chops and say, "Mmm, toast!" Just as Powdered Toast Man makes impact with the Blob, the latter swallows him alive. The Blob wins.
But wait! Only seconds later, the Blob begins to feel the worst case of indigestion in the history of indigestion. He begins to excessively vomit, and then acid begins to burn through his midsection. Suddenly, Powdered Toast Man rips himself from the Blob's dying carcass, yelling, "Powdered Toast Man!" While Powdered Toast Man was inside the Blob, he delivered a series of hyperacidic marmalade and farts, causing the beginning of the end for the Blob. That was Powdered Toast Man's plan from the start. Powdered Toast Man wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that fight, and if you have fight requests for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright then, it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, I'm only going to talk about one thing in Comically Speaking, and that's the possibility of Fox being bought by Disney.
My leader.
I think it's going to be a...
Bring him to his leader.
Well, if this happens, well, obviously, all the X-Men movies are... Well, X-Men, I mean, are going to be under Marvel Studios. So, yeah. As far as everything else...
Yeah.
Well... I don't know about y'all, but I really don't want to see another Fantastic Four movie. As much as I love the Fantastic Four, I'm sorry, what Josh Trank did to that other one, the one that was garbage on top of trash on top of, well, a word I can't say on here.
There's no way I'm gonna win. No such thing.
There shouldn't be another one. They could make a cameo appearance in certain movies, but I don't think we need to see another one. Alright, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, I'm not going to give a brief description of each book. I'm just going to let you know what they are. First up is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 35. Spider-Man 2 number 5. Action Comics number 994. The Flash number 37. The Despicable Deadpool number 291. Wonder Woman number 37. Doomsday Clock number 2. Detective Comics number 971. The Amazing Spider-Man number 793. And finally, Black Panther number 168. Alright, that's 10 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 8,406. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, the last episode of 2017. And here's a question again for a free team for next week's episode of the show. Name at least 5 Marvel characters who are redheads. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Caleb McDaniel from Winsboro, Louisiana, who won a free tee in this week's episode of the show. Alright, it's birthday time here on the Comic Hero Show, and happy birthday to Carrie Davis, Christina Pinkard, Megan Burkeen, Michael Hernandez, Sharitha Morris, John Saxon, Dustin Williams, Patrick Mills, Nicole Grimes, Denise Ogletree, Tiffany Kirk, Felisa Washington, and William Vines. And congratulations to Jeffrey Kelling and Chelsea Kelling from Jacksonville, Arkansas. They just welcomed their first baby into the world, so welcome to the world, baby Aiden. I know your Aunt Sarah is going to be spreading some auntie love on you, and because you're in a great family, a very great family, and you've also been deputized a little comic hero. Just have to say that. I'm sure your parents wouldn't mind. I know your Aunt Sarah wouldn't mind. All right, 2017 is coming to a close, or if you're watching this, it's New Year's Eve. It's already come to a close. I mean, New Year's Day. It's already come to a close. But 2017. There are a lot of peaks and valleys going on with me in my life. Most of the peaks, every peak that took place. Well, not every peak, but every time I did an episode here at Southern Rails Comics and Games, it was a peak. And there were a lot of times when I did episodes over at Clint's Comics, it was a peak. The only valley that I can think of was when Clint's Comics closed its doors. But, when one door closes, another door opens. And James and Jennifer, and to an extent, Ryan, welcomed me with open arms here at Southern Realms Comics and Games. And every day that I've been here it's just never been a dull moment. And in 2018, I'm encouraging you, do things better in 2018 than you did 2017. I know that sounds a little taboo. It may sound a little corny and all that, but be a better person. Whatever you do, be better. And don't settle. We miss out on so much when we tend to settle. And also, settling is insanity. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result each time. So don't settle. So don't be an insane settler. And good luck to all 4 teams that are in the college football playoffs. In either episode 198 or 199, the episode of the show after the national championship game, I will wear a comic hero tee based on the school. That's how I've been doing it for the last 2 years, and I'm gonna keep doing it. Anyway, good luck. All right, I'm Victor Noley. I'm the comic hero. I'll see you next year for episode 197, right back here at Southern Realms Comics and Games. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and roll tide. Boomer Sooner. How about them dogs? All in.
My turn? You get space. I am severely lacking more presents.
Yep.
Now kick that logo. That is going on a blooper reel.
Anthony.
Also,
Any particular dipping sauce you want? No?
All right, I'm not going to give a brief description of each book. I'm just going to let you know what they are. First up is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 35. Spider-Man 2 number 5.
Okay. Eric, if I something else, or do you want to play the thing?
He's bringing pizza.
Okay. I know that. But I mean,
Action Comics number 994.
hold on there, Victor. I really appreciate you, and I'm gonna let you finish. But this is the best comic you've bought of all time.
Good job, Tony.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Oh, blooper reel. Greatest blooper reel ever, though.
Thank you.
Anthony Benoit, everyone.
Yeah, hold on.
Can I play it here?
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, the last episode of 2017. And here's the question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Name at least 5 Marvel characters who are redheads. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. And congratulations. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, the last episode of 2017. And here's a free question for a free tee for next week's episode of the show, and I'm going to do that again because that was completely unprofessional. For real!